iFILM, London. iFILM, London.
This is James Elder for iFILM London. We're live for the press conference now, the announcement rather, of Nathan Cleverley's fight against Robin Krasniqi. Krasniqi, excuse me.
Yeah, from Germany. His record's 37-2. He's won 35 fights, lost 2 on points. Ranked number 4 in the WBO, and we've applied to the WBO that they allow us to allow Nathan to have a voluntary defence of his title, as they have put out his mandatory defence.
So this fight's coming before the mandatory fight, would that be right?
I hope so, subject to them approving that.
How good is it to be back at the Royal Albert Hall and have boxing back there?
Well, I'm delighted. I mean, we did an amateur show there. I helped with an amateur show early in the year, but to get pro boxing back in the Albert Halls, I think is fantastic for the sport. It's the most prestigious venue in the country, bar none. I think I did the last show there in 1999, and it's just a magnificent venue to have boxing in. It's a circular venue. It's in the round, and the atmosphere when it's full up is just brilliant, and it certainly will be full up for Nathan.
On the night, Box Nation also showing another small fight we'll come to. Could you tell us a little bit about that fight and how you managed to get that fight on Box Nation?
Box Nation are also broadcasting Hopkins and Chad Dawson, the rematch after the controversial ending of their last fight. So the 28th of April is a big night for light heavyweight boxing, and hopefully the winners of these fights will be. We may be able to get them together in the summer. That
was my next question. Do you think that fight could possibly be made, and would going to Millennium Stadium in Cardiff be an option?
Well, if we could get it made, Millennium would be a natural home for it, or even Cardiff City Football Ground. But whatever it went, it'd be a huge fight. But they obviously, Nathan's got to win his fight, and in an ideal world, I'd like to see Hopkins win the fight because I think it's a bigger fight. But I think Hopkins got a tough fight in his hands.
Nathan's very intelligent outside of the ring, kind of a different kind of guy to what people maybe even perceive him to be. Do you think this is going to stand him in good stead for maybe going to America? The plan, what is the whole thing of it?
Well, he's a clean-cut kid. He's exciting in the ring. I mean, most of his fights have a bit of drama to them. And as you say, he's got a fabulous image. And I think that as the Welsh did, we sold out that show last time. His last fight in CIA, I mean, it absolutely sold out quick as anything. I think that wherever he goes, he's an attraction. One thing about Nathan, when he's in the ring, you're getting 100% from him, and I think that that appeals to boxing fans.
He's excuse me, Nathan got a lot of people saying that he maybe hasn't finished a lot of the fights he's had, but having looked at it, his record seems like 8, I think it is, and his last 11 have been knockouts. What do you say about that?
Well, he stops 8 of his last 11 opponents. I mean, that's not a bad ratio for anybody. Also, it's about the guys you fight. I mean, Tony Bellew is a good quality operator, and Tony's a tough guy. I knew that would be a tough fight. He was in front of his home fans. Again, it was another big crowd there that turned out to see the guys. That was what is always going to be a competitive fight. When you've got a domestic matchup between fighters, they always seem to pull more out, and that's what Tony did. And a bit more experience. Who knows what will happen? Tony's now he's fighting in, I think it's next month, and that for him will get him his way, get him back into the mix. And as for the last one, Tommy Kapensi, he was what he was. He's a tough guy who spends a lot of time sparring with all the best light heavyweights and cruiserweights in the world, and he brought all that into the ring. I hate to say it wasn't like he came and seized his moment. I think he's more content on surviving. If you got a fighter like that, it's difficult sometimes. And I think it took about 6 or 7 rounds for Nathan to open him up. He came in very tight defence, hands held high, sat in them, and made it a bit difficult. Made Nathan think. But as Nathan said at the press conference, you get 12 rounds in the bag. Get that, it's great to have that to look back on for your experience, because most of these fighters that you see now in these big fights, most of the fights seem to go the distance.
Frank, could you tell me a little bit about the undercard? You've got a great undercard on this fight. Noticeably, I can remember Frank Buglioni and a few others. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Bradley Saunders, Frank Buglioni, Bradley Skeet on the card. They're great young prospects, and we've got Sam Webb and Hall fighting each other. A fight that got postponed, it's a final elimination for the title. And we've got another couple of fights to add to it. So it's going to be a good night's boxing involving some of the best talent that's certainly in the UK.
Sounds like a great night for boxing, and it's really good to see boxing back at the Royal Albert Hall. It's been a long time coming. This is James Helder with Frank One.
iFILM, London. iFILM, London. iFILM.